to aim.
We're live. Your identity
Hello.
crisis.
Hello.
Hello. Because it's gonna fuck up. Somebody check volume. I'm calling it now. Calling it.
That's how we do things.
Not taking anything for granted after the last one. Adam's giving us a thumbs up.
Good.
Hello, everyone. I would say that we'll splice that out of the beginning of the episode, but we won't. We won't.
Yeah, we won't.
I know better than that. Thanks for joining. So yeah, had some audio issues, or more so some recording issues last episode. We got done with the episode recording, and then turns out OBS crashed, and so we lost. I don't know.
I don't even know.
Like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So that's a bummer. We could redo it, but I don't want to. So because stuff happened. So we're gonna give
You know what
you
I could do?
what's that?
Post the session notes.
Yeah, well, I just put the session notes on the stream here
Oh, there you
as
go.
well. So I just realized our.
Your guys kind of.
Just
Your
put it-
session notes also contain your like bank password and social
Yeah.
security number and everything, right?
No. No,
Just
they
for
don't.
just for good measure.
You can just post it right over my face if you need to. That's fine. Go for it.
That seems like a win-win. So a little bit of a rundown of kind of what happened. You can pause the video here and review the full notes, or if you're just listening, long story short, in the previous full episode, then the party had been split up and were actively being chased by some big ass spiders. The spiders did eventually catch up, and luckily, they all kind of met up at the base camp to have an all-out brawl. We did introduce Ryan's new character,
Chaz.
and do you want to give
Chaz.
just a little rundown of Chaz? Because I don't remember if that got cut off or not.
Yeah, so Chaz McDuffie. He's a former arena fighter. He's a beast. He loves getting in fights. It's his favorite thing in the entire world. Otherwise, he's pretty much bored. He's also a fucking idiot. He's pretty much a moron. He never went to school. He does not know how to read. But in a fight, he's definitely the guy you want with you. So he loves finishing moves as well.
Which is always good. I imagine him a little bit like a luchador, you know,
Yeah.
like just like jumping off the posts, and whatnot.
Right.
But with his help, and by help I mean him carrying the team, then he the spiders were vanquished. During that, we did have some issues there. Tick got knocked unconscious for a short while, leaving Rat to kind of do all of the hard work, lighting some fires and shit. Hayes took a couple of hits and proceeded to shoot the ceiling about 46 times.
Yeah, it started off so strong, and then.
And I will say those first two attacks added up to a fuck ton of damage. So if you think about like your amount of damage spread out over all of them, maybe it's about average. Maybe, probably not. But and then Chaz just kind of
Well,
rocked it.
Didn't Hayes drop Tick?
Oh yeah, Hayes shot Tick, didn't he? I think that's what happened.
At one point, I don't know.
I think that's what dropped him. Is Hayes shot him?
Oh, I think maybe.
Yeah, shooting
Yeah.
Tick in the shoulder, knocking him to the
Yeah.
ground unconscious.
Kind of forgot about that. Yeah, so it was
We almost had 2
there,
murderers in the group.
yeah. It was revenge and you didn't even realize it. Yeah, so it things have gone better, but you did win. The party was able to rest up in the encampment. And as
Full
far
health.
as you're yeah, full health. You're all back to good. As far as y'all know, there are no other spiders waiting to pounce. I
As far
mean,
as we know.
for at least the next couple of minutes. But yeah. Also, um your archaeologist friend is bandaged as well.
Full health.
Yeah.
He's
Horace?
moving. He can move.
Yeah.
Horace can move.
Yeah, I mean, he's still slow. He's still old. But he is bandaged and is not going to die right this moment.
Okay.
Alright, so what's the scene?
You are in the encampment. So it's kind of just like a large cave, room. Stalactites and stalagmites and just general general cave. Interestingly, you do see that there is large runic language kind of carved into these stone walls. You are not familiar with the language, so you can't really like date how old it is or anything like that. Um, but it is there. You see kind of like a dig operation kind of taking place on the far end. You're not entirely sure what they're digging for, but you do remember that the entire goal of this visit was to carry rocks and smash stuff. So you assume that's happening there. There is kind of some meandering about archaeologists and kind of students and things like that who are helping out with this dig. They were the ones who kind of pulled Horace away and bandaged people and kind of brought you back to good. There's a kind of a fire going in the middle of the room. It which is good because I mean I don't know if you've been in a lot of caves. They're kind of damp and not very warm typically, and so um, that's pretty much it. There's a bunch of tents and shit.
Okay. All right. Well, we've never formally introduced ourselves before. Um, so I guess I'm just gonna walk over to Tick and Hayes, and I'm gonna say, "Well met, little friends." uh, what a great battle, wasn't it?
Like rubbing my shoulder. I'm like, yeah, it was great.
I
Hayes kind of nods his head to you, but he's just staring. And as
What
far as you can
happened?
tell with that mask,
I
you have
look
no idea what he's thinking.
I look over at Hayes and I'm like, "Listen, if there's one thing I know, it's that guns are for pussies, and you're bad with them anyways. I would suggest moving on to something else."
Not my finest hour, that's for sure. But
All
well
right, so
fought. Well fought.
thank you.
You saved
What
us
bring
out there.
what brings you guys here?
Horace hired us to help.
Ah, Horace is a good egg. Horace is a good egg. He won't screw you over like a lot of other people on this godforsaken planet.
Well, Hayes looks over at Horace. He's pretty much alive, only because of us, so he better not.
He kind of like nods, like, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Uh, he says, no worries there, and the encampment should be the safest place in this cave. So
Yeah, I noticed you don't have much defenses in case another spider or more were to scatter on in.
They normally don't like the light. We keep these fires here burning to kind of keep creatures at bay. But they seemed to be a little bit more hungry, maybe, than in the past. So something must have, really pissed them off. Maybe all these earthquakes.
Yeah, who
Get more
knows?
lights.
Let's just hope we don't run into any more. Speaking of, did that cave in ruin our way out?
Uh, he kind of thinks about it for a moment. And he goes, I did the most convenient one, but we do have drills, pickaxes, and otherwise, so we should be able to hopefully clear the rubble. If you remember, it was kind of like one giant rock, so it might take a bit to move.
Do you have any spare workers here that could maybe go survey that and make sure that it's safe? And
So honestly, after the spiders, I don't know who I would want to send on their own to go check out the status of a rock.
Guys,
Uh,
I got this. And I turn around and I start walking away.
whoa! Hey, hold on. I would say that we probably should all think about going.
Oh, okay, that's a better plan. Okay.
Just in case there is another creature in the dark. That being said, uh, it'll take a bit to clear that. So ideally, let's at least work on the reason you're here. There
real
is
quick,
some.
Chaz, do you know much about cave integrity? Would you be able to, make sure that taking that boulder won't bring down the rest of the cave?
Absolutely. So, what you have to understand with cave integrity is that when the ground shakes, stuff falls down.
Got it. Okay, we'll all go together.
uh,
Checks out. Banned from space. This checks out.
But
you
all right,
like.
Horace. Sorry to interrupt you there. What? Yeah, back to what did you have in mind?
So we found a new tunnel. The runic language kind of implied that there should be one here, and we have found it. It looked to have been covered by some rubble, maybe of a landslide or cave in at some point. But now that we know kind of where to dig, we're hoping to kind of get in further. Kind of points off into the direction that you had seen, kind of where all the tents and like digging apparatus are, kind of people kind of meandering about. He points to what looks to be a really large tent, probably used ideally in like outdoor situations to kind of keep the dust and the wind down where they're digging, but seems to be covering a large square of ground. You can't see inside because tent's closed.
You guys don't by chance have any either more ammo or megs laying around, do you?
Uh, he kind of looks a little distressed. He goes, "I don't think so, but we can ask around."
We just discussed this, little friend. Guns are for pussies, and I just hold out my pickaxe for him to take. Here,
Uh,
take this instead.
you are much better with that. You should hang on to that. Thank you
That's
for
a
the
very,
kind
Good
gesture.
point.
that's a very good point. I will hold on to it.
um, so Horse kind of like starts kind of wandering off into the direction of the tent, kind of ushering you along, like to kind of show you what's going on.
All right, I'll follow.
All behind.
Yep.
Tick, do you follow like that?
Mm-hmm. Just
Uh,
vibing to the music.
the kind of the dripping cave noises. You're just jamming out
As
to
you
it.
like take it into it, it's like
Okay, so you guys walk over to this tent. It kind of pulls it, aside, and you see what looks to be a handful of people kind of digging, using like stereotypical archaeology shit where they're like brushing
little
things
brush.
off. Like why they couldn't just use a broom, I don't know. I'm not an archaeologist. But they seem to be doing
Come in with a
something.
leaf blower and just start blowing it all away.
Yes. They just have like a shop vac. So you can tell that what they've kind of cleared off, they've kind of dug a little bit into the ground, and there seems to be almost like a gateway with that runic language kind of surrounding it. But it is jam packed with what looks to be kind of cave in from up above. Up above, you kind of because you haven't really entered the tent yet, you see that the roof has kind of been split in twain. It seems secure enough, but having seen cave-ins pretty frequently
Recently,
and recently, yeah, you never can be too true or too sure about it, but you can kind of see where the vast majority of this rock came from up above. Plus just time and water and dirt and who knows what else kind of has filled this. He kind of points to the spot, and he says, and that is what we're here for. Now if only we could get these damned rocks out of here.
All right.
well, I give
Uh,
Chaz like a butt slap, like get in there, tiger. Like no, not yet.
Go team, and by
Yeah.
team I mean Chaz, and you just sit back and crack a beer.
I just picture Chaz like the new Reacher on Amazon.
Oh, yeah,
In Richmond.
yeah.
In that show, he's just fucking huge.
I haven't seen it, but I saw a clip where he just like kicks a car and the airbags go off, which is hilarious. So
Yeah, season 2 so far is phenomenal. But sorry.
no worries. So you can kind of see scattered around this tent are also some like pickaxes, some wheelbarrows, some like shovels, other digging stuff. But yeah.
All right. So it looks like we're forming up a chain gang.
You need me to move some boulders? Is that what we're doing?
I think so.
I'll walk over and grab one of the pickaxes.
I'm going to just drop my shovel, and I'm gonna pick up another pickaxe, and I'm just gonna dual wield pickaxes for
Dual
this.
wield them.
The
Yeah.
shovel is broken anyways, so
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I grab another pickaxe, and I got one in each hand. All right, let's do this.
Go grab a shovel.
I
Let's go.
imagine like I imagine you're just like spinning around like whacking rocks with those.
All right, let's go get started, new tall friend and new short friend. Isn't Tick's really tall, isn't he?
Tall and lanky, yeah.
Yeah.
Since
I
he's born in like low grav, then
don't think Hayes was necessarily short though. Yeah, he's 5'11".
I mean, compared to me, yes, he is. So, and what it wasn't. Tick was like 6'5", wasn't he, or something?
Something
Yeah.
ridiculous like that.
Right.
Or 6'4", something like that. Yeah.
so you are the short one again.
Yeah.
Like usual. Yeah.
I mean, I always recommend RPGs to not go too far away from yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's hard to roleplay. So, Anywho, so yeah, you can kind of just tell that it's going to take a couple of days worth of, kind of moving rubble to get anywhere here. There's some big ass rocks, and essentially you would need to. I'm just going to assume here. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Chaz is doing all of the smacking rocks really hard to break them with pickaxes, and y'all are kind of, one of you's filling wheelbarrows and the
I
other
was
one
gonna
is
say I was gonna grab the
pushing
wheelbarrow and like put with my shovel, kind of that, and
and
then
just kind of
haze,
moving
and then
shit
like
back and
move it
forth.
back. That was gonna be.
There's other people here too, right? Who better be helping?
They
I
sounded
mean,
like interns, to be
Yeah.
honest.
yeah, I mean they're like, but we're talking a bunch of like
Nerds.
Yeah.
archaeologists. Like, I mean, two of you knew going in that you were essentially glorifying
Hayes and
manual
I were
labor.
gonna be doing manual labor. We thought Mufasa was gonna do something else.
You hoped.
Yeah,
It
he was
didn't
gonna
quite
help
work
with
out
the
that way.
archaeology. Yeah.
Didn't really work out that way, and now they don't have to pay him.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's gonna take a couple of days. I don't anticipate making you roll 4 billion times for every rock. So we can either fast forward through that, but want to give you the opportunities. Is there anything that you want to do over the next couple of days? Now that you kind of know what you're working on, you could go back to the cave-in. You could talk to people. You could go on a murderous rampage as per usual. You could do whatever your heart desires over those days.
At some point during a meal, when everyone's just chilling, I'm gonna be asking around if anyone has any loose bullets or extra mags for a raid rifle.
What do you have left?
0.
Oh,
2
okay.
empty mags. 0
What
to
other
6 on
weapons
both.
do you have?
Oscillator knife.
Oh, that's gonna be rough.
I have 4 rounds in my laser pistol still.
Yeah.
Because I never got to use it. Which is probably a blessing, all things
Right.
considered.
At
least we got 4 rounds.
I will give you the opportunity here to do a high or low.
Oh god.
We'll go high.
Okay, roll the D100.
85.
Okay, so you
year.
talk to one of the random like interns that thought he was signing up for something better, but this is totally not worth the credit hours that are required from his school. But he says that he actually has some. That he forgot the rifle at home, but he does have 2 magazines, one full and one that contains 2 rounds.
How many was a full mag? 6?
Yeah.
Nice.
So 8 rounds.
What would you like for them?
He says, as long as you do the heavy lifting, anytime I'm asked, it's like says I'm asked, then they're yours. They're yours. I hate this place.
Deal.
So yeah. Now the question I have, is there any sort of like tiredness scale, like in this game? Do y'all remember?
I don't think
Not that
I
I'm
don't think you've ever brought it up
aware of.
before.
I mean, you've never
I don't.
needed to.
I mean, when I was reading it, I don't recall ever seeing something in the
I'm just
or even
scrolling through the
bracket
tables
either.
here,
Yeah.
just in case. Spacecraft, power systems, tech modules.
I don't think so.
I didn't remember it, but I wanted to just make sure.
Something else that I want to bring up again. the condition, reducing condition outside combat when using an object with a condition value in a stressful situation. Roll 1d6. On a 1, it loses a condition. Did we do that this battle?
We did it at the end of, or when we logged off. I remember we did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we're good on that.
Because
Oh, yeah,
that's
there's a
how.
bunch of 1d6s.
Isn't that how the shovel broke?
Yep,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it sure is. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we don't forget.
Cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like how it says in a stressful situation. So like if you just shoot someone in cold blood and you're just like I'm cool with it. Like no durability loss.
Well, it
I was
also
gonna say,
it has the outside combat, but this just says after combat roll 1d6.
oh,
Nothing to do with stress.
I was gonna say Chaz will never be stressed in a fight ever, not one time.
Well, I guess it depends on what your definition of stress is, because
Yeah.
I mean, definitely will have adrenaline pumping.
Yeah, right.
You're excited, not in the bad way, I guess. In the bad way for whoever you're fighting, I guess. But
Ooh, and something else to remember: an attack causing maximum damage reduces the condition of one of the defender's items by 1.
Well, there you go.
So
All right.
if we're fighting someone and they have an item we want, we'll have to remember that.
can you
Okay.
say that again? What was it?
An attack causing maximum damage reduces the condition of one of the defender's items by 1. So even if we get max damaged, one of our items will lose condition.
You like stab them in the chest so hard that their gun explodes.
You make them squeeze really hard to handle bends. For Chaz,
It's
at
like
least.
it's like Looney Tunes when they like squeeze the barrel of the gun and it
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. They like fire at balloons. Anyway. Okay, so anything else you want to do while we are passing the time?
Just work for me.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
while we're working, we're gonna be talking and filling the gap and stuff a little bit. I'm assuming we're not just all doing this in silence.
Right.
This is over
Like,
multiple days.
oh god,
Yeah.
that'd be painful if it was all just in silence. I don't know. I guess I would definitely be curious about Jazz, like wanting to know more about him and stuff for
I
sure.
can't hear anything.
Yeah, his light turned off on his headset.
Yeah. This is the point at which we should make fun of Justin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep talking.
Hello.
Hello.
Test.
Okay. Weird.
Oh,
Couldn't
yeah,
hear
your light on your headset turned off. Like normally it has a green light, there's no light.
Well, I was watching the mixer and my audio was coming through and your guys' audio was going through. So I think it was good for everyone else, just not
Oh,
me.
hopefully.
Yeah,
headset.
we could hear you and we could hear
Yeah.
each other, but
Yeah.
you couldn't hear us. You'll have to listen to the recording to find out what we said.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're have at it. Have that at the conversation.
So I mean, I guess at this point, like we probably talked a little about the battle and like heard how crazy
And I'm
Jazz
sure
is.
I asked you guys about your past so you could fill me in.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
you know what we're going to do is I think we split up and then Mufasa died.
So that's
So-
probably a good
That's a good
conversation
topic of
piece.
conversation.
Yeah. So we'll probably we'll
So
have
Chaz,
that
what?
earlier.
So you seem like you can definitely like handle yourself. Like, what's that all about? Like, I was not expecting to see a crazy dude like you down here.
Dude, I grew up here, man. On
Wait,
the
you
street
grew up. I don't see
fighting
many streets in the cave. What do you
fighting
mean?
not in the cave. I grew up in town back when fighting pits were legal. That's all I did, man. I grew up on the streets. All I did was fight in fighting pits. I had the time of my life. And
Like what are fighting pits around here? I'm not familiar with these things.
you two men enter, one man leave. That's all it is. It's
To the
um,
death? Or
not
until
always.
someone's oh, okay.
Not always, but sometimes.
Explains all the scars.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it was what I lived for. I made a lot of money doing it. I was the champion of this planet. and then some new assholes took over in that government thing, and they decided that it was barbaric, and they outlawed the entire thing, and I haven't been able to fight since.
They took our gerbs. Uh,
Man, that's crazy that
Um,
you can't fight anymore. There's plenty of places out in space where they'd pay good money to watch that shit.
Would they?
Mm-hmm. Oh hell yeah, they would.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to think on that a little more.
you can
and I,
smell the smoke burning of the gears grinding in Chaz's head.
well, I'm gonna rewind time to right after the battle, and Tick, I didn't see Mufasa running with you. Did one of the spiders get him?
I'm unconscious. You shot me right after the
Yeah.
battle. I'm passed out. You talking? I'm like,
Fine. After
Okay,
we heal
let's
you.
go back. Let's go back to the present, and now you're like, we're gonna fucking talk about this.
oh
Uh,
yeah, one of the we were running across this gap thing, and one of those spiders came and fucking ate him, and I fucking bolted. I'm pretty sure when we came, he regurgitated part of Mufasa in front of us.
He got,
I was in shock.
he got killed in one shot. Sounds like a pussy, and I just go back to hammering.
Damn. Well, I guess we didn't all know each other too well, but that's an unfortunate end. Hopefully, it was quick for him.
It was very quick from that thing. Just not to be crazy, but it killed him very quickly.
Well, praise the void for that.
To pieces, you say.
You just buy it. You just buy it immediately.
I mean, didn't
Would he
it
have any other reason to not? I don't know.
didn't it have a body part still in its mouth?
Yeah,
that's
there's
true.
When
literally
it showed
part
up?
of him. Yeah.
That's true.
You're
Well,
like,
and
damn, that's just Air
we
Jordans.
barely
I
made
see
it. He
them.
barely made it.
Right.
Yeah,
My headset
yeah,
is cutting out. I don't know what's going on.
yeah. I mean, honestly, the spiders were incredibly intense, and y'all almost died because of
Right?
Hayes.
What?
Because of Hayes shooting you.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
Are you
I'm gonna
back? Are you
stop.
back,
I'm
Justin?
gonna. I'm gonna stop. Can you hear us? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stop my pickaxing for a second. And I'm gonna turn around and be like, "All right, guys, I'm done thinking about it." After this whole time, and I was thinking, you guys seem like good dudes, but you seem a little weak, and I feel like maybe you could use some muscle. And if you would be willing to take me on your fancy spaceship, and then I could fight some more people, I think that would be great for everybody.
Well, the problem,
I
Chaz,
just
is
confused at A's, and I'm like, like
uh,
what?
yeah, Tick and I will have to discuss this. But just so you know, it's not cheap on a spaceship, so we'll probably have to have some of your
I have
earnings.
money. I have money. And I dig into my pocket and I pull out my 14 hollows and I go, I have this many.
Wait, you don't even like. Isn't a physical thing?
Hollows are a digital currency. You pulled out a little wallet card that just had the number 14 on it. You do
No,
not know what that number means.
no, he pulls out 14 fingernail and toenail clippings.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, like little pebbles. Yeah, he's like this many.
You pull out one hollow card that you took from each one of the dead corpses of people who faced you. They
Uh,
unfortunately were equally poor.
How
so
much are you earning as a wage here?
I feel like that's a question for Horace.
Is Horace around? Like,
Horace
he's
said
probably
that
not.
I do
Chaz
not know
is
the answer to that
Chaz is
question.
working for exposure. Uh, he gets to throw it on his Instagram, and he's calling it good.
Uh,
Influencer
well,
Horace.
Let Tick and I discuss this, and again, we'll just have to
Look,
think
whatever
about.
Horace is paying me, you can have it. I don't care.
Okay. Well,
That means if you negotiate in his stead, then whatever you negotiate is what you get.
yeah. Well, the thing I'm
0
trying
times
to look
anything is
back is I
0.
don't remember what we even agreed to.
I don't think we did.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember you
I
guys
don't think
agreeing.
we did.
I
I think
don't.
we just took the job.
Well,
Who's
we
the
needed
idiot now?
money. I don't remember.
But I don't think he ever told us so
No.
much.
We're gonna have to probably listen back at that, but because I don't
Let's be real.
remember.
If it comes down to it, how much is your life, Horace? I
Yeah,
mean, we're not going
right.
to say this to his face right now, but I'm just like, let's be real. You're not getting out of here. Get some big ass dudes around you.
All right. Well, we'll carry
We'll
on.
figure that out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
You guys have to live to get paid, so I mean, it's not
Yeah,
gonna be
right.
it's not gonna be a big deal. So yeah, any other kind of topics for discussion prior to clearing
What-
out this rebel?
What are your guys' favorite finishing moves?
The one
Excuse me?
where my opponent is not alive and I am.
I know, but you have to have a finishing move when you kill him. What's your favorite finishing move? What's the coolest finishing move you've ever done?
Please, Lord Void.
And then what?
I pray.
Did you not see my rocket punch earlier? That's the best thing you got?
Well, I clearly don't have as much experience as you do in these things.
Tick, help me out. What's your favorite finishing move?
So Tick like thinks about the time he killed Mufasa, and then it's like replaying through his head, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I haven't killed many people."
I'm gonna have to whip you guys into shape.
You guys just imagine back to the moment when you stabbed that sleeping dude.
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
The funny thing is, that's
finishing move-
exactly what I was thinking of.
My finishing move is killing a defenseless sleeping man.
Next to pictures of his children. Uh,
Didn't we also trip a woman and beat her to death or stab her
yeah.
in the hallway?
We did?
She was running at y'all, and
Oh,
then
that's right.
she got tripped,
That's right.
and then you just wailed on her with a pipe. Remember when I said murderous rampage as per
Yeah,
usual?
right.
I was not joking about that. It's kind of been par for the course thus far.
Kind of staged. That's way worse and planned. More probably heat of the moment of like all the chaos, and it just
Little bit,
worked
yeah.
out. Yeah, it was a little bit of heat of the moment.
All right.
the tripping for sure. The
But Dick
stabbing.
had been planning way
stabbing-
worse shit. Let's just say
Oh,
that.
yeah. Anywho, so yeah, you're able to kind of clear the rubble. You notice kind of as you clear more and more, it seems as if there's stairs kind of carved into the rock below this rubble. Even more odd is you can kind of tell there's kind of veins of copper running through the stones, which is not completely unheard of, right? But the interesting thing is that the copper almost looks like it's grown into a circuit board type. There's like threads, and like they seem very inorganic.
We've been seeing this as we've been like cutting through the rock, even.
Well,
Or, like severing, or is it?
you're kind of, as you're clearing rubble, you're kind of uncovering these stairs.
Oh, so it's a pre-built thing that we're just shit got in it. Okay, got it. We're not like
Yeah,
cutting out
yeah.
Okay.
The ceiling fell on
Got
it,
it,
and
got
you're
it.
clearing that pile. And because like shit has just kind of gone into this stairwell down, then you're like uncovering more and more and more stairs as you clear more and more rubble.
You said copper? Veins of copper?
You assume it's copper. Um,
Corroded and nasty at this point. Just steal wool out.
most of it is actually in pretty good shape. Like it
Walls
is
and
copper.
stairs?
Yeah, walls and stairs. But it's anything that's below the ground. It doesn't seem like the floor itself is made out of this, like above the stairs.
Sure.
There are parts that have obviously been kind of corroded with time, like water has seeped through the rocks and kind of collected in areas to give it verdigris, I think is the technical term.
Patina.
Patina, yeah. Verdigris, I think is the
I think
like
you're right though. Yeah.
it's green damage. Anyway, so the but most of it seems to be in pretty good shape. In fact, you would be willing to bet that pre ceiling collapse, it probably would have been, pristine.
Anyone else get a feeling this is some like teleporter or some shit? something a little special. Not looking at you, Chaz. Looking at Hayes.
I was gonna say I'm staring like
A teleporter to where?
I don't know. Seems like a weird circle thing and stairs and maybe electricity went through this. I don't know. Just get a teleporty vibe. Never seen one, but I feel like this is what a teleporter might be. I don't know.
I've never seen one either.
This seems weird, doesn't it?
Well, I
Never
didn't
seen anything
understand the
like it, I
words,
should say.
and we knew that there were previous life down here many moons ago, so
let's
never
go
know what
find
to
Is Horus
expect.
around potentially to like? Do you have any theories on this, Horus? I get teleporty vibes.
So you kind of pull Horace in to kind of check it out. He's been managing people and doing stuff. So
yeah, I was just like curious if
um,
anyone else has like noticed this other shit.
We probably would have brought him over anyways once we
Right? Yeah,
uncovered the
think so.
stairs and saw this.
yeah. He kind of, examines it, gets a little brush out, clears off some things, and he says, it does kind of look inorganic in nature. Can't say that I've ever seen a teleporter either. I would guess, that this has to be either a very interesting formation of rock that just kind of grew was made this way, or someone made it. But how would you make stone?
Like inlay all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because it does seem,
With the
as
fabrial?
if
Dang it, Ryan didn't even catch it.
I miss it. What?
I said with a fabrial.
Do I know that reference?
The Way of Kings.
Oh, Fabrial. Okay, gotcha. All right, fair enough.
Man, talk about a
Or
letdown.
a teleporter.
We'll have
or I mean, he said he doesn't know what a teleporter looked like, so maybe you guys do now. But it doesn't seem like it's inlay, as in, like carved away and then added back in.
Like done together or around? I'm confused.
Or maybe the people before us didn't care about whatever mineral is in that rock, and they just wanted the stairs to somewhere.
Just made some sick looking stairs.
Yeah.
None of this is plot points at all. It's just that they thought, like, damn, that rock looks dope. Uh,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, just built it around. Yeah.
so yeah, so it doesn't look inlaid as in, they carved out a piece of the chunk and then
Mhm.
poured molten copper into it. It does look like it, what is part of the rock, like that they are one uniform chunk. So it's kind of interesting.
Do you want me to go hit it?
Now just keep digging.
I know.
Well,
Do you want me to go? Do you want me to go hit it?
do we need to keep digging, or do we need to?
So there is a little bit more rock. We can fast forward through that if you want.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you do finally kind of hit like a really large stone kind of at the bottom of what you can assume to be the bottom of this stairwell. After it's been cleared, it seems like a long tunnel. The interesting thing about this tunnel is it's definitely man-made, or I shouldn't say man. It's definitely made. And kind of all the walls, the floor, and the ceiling all are this kind of intricate, inorganic looking veins of copper kind of running across kind of all of these things. You kind of see some like speckles here and there of what looks to maybe be other ores of some type. Like bronze or like gold, or maybe there's like a gem here and there, but by and large it's mostly copper.
Somebody
But
playing Minecraft and just going right through, and they didn't care what was on the sides.
they were digging down to get to the
Trying to get to hell.
yeah. You see no what do they call the rocks at the very bottom of Minecraft? Yeah, I don't
I
remember.
don't remember.
It's been too long. Been too
Yeah,
long.
same.
I'm too old. But yeah. So you kind of have uncovered this very long tunnel. You do not see the end of the tunnel. Because you've got your headlamps and whatnot, but it is pretty dark.
I don't
Horace.
have any light, by the way.
Horace, we need some torches. It's been cleared.
Yeah, I feel like we'd want to grab him, right? He's the archaeologist anyway. Let him explore.
Yeah, once you cleared that out and you kind of notified Horace, then a bunch of interns have kind of started delving down, at least into the stairwell.
Right, everyone wants to be the first one to fucking discover something.
Yeah,
Have at it.
find a mummy they can eat.
Anyone want to throw down bets if an intern gets eaten by a spider down there?
I would like to take that bet. So yeah, Horace comes and he's kind of speechless at first, kind of seeing into this tunnel. He says, I don't know what it is, but it's beautiful. He says, Art, this is kind of what I hired you for.
It's like we're ready to crack a beer.
Uh,
Job done.
but there could be more rubble below. He kind of looks
Let's
around.
get the beer down.
He kind of looks around and he's like, he looks at Chaz and just there might be creatures down there.
It's exactly what I wanted to hear.
He knows that. And
So,
he
Horace, before we discuss continuing on to help you guys, since we did accomplish the task that, we agreed that you needed help with, I think it's a good time to discuss what that payment was going to be and what it will continue to be for myself and my two companions. Looks back at Tick and back at Chaz.
He says, I think the best time for us to talk about that is after I've listened to the previous episode recording when I talked about it, because I have no memory of what we talked about or what even
I don't
we
think.
needed.
I don't
I
think
mean,
we
how
talked
much is
about
your life
anything.
worth? I mean, I'm pretty
You-
sure I heard Hayes get you out of some pretty thick shit there.
It was literally Horace said we're gonna go clear some rocks, and that was it. With no payment
Yeah.
was ever discussed. I remember.
And then
It
we
was
ended up
just-
us saving his life and doing some
Yeah.
battles. Like, there's got to be a little bit of like, extra something, something.
Not saying
we
you
we
can't
meet
barter.
Horace. We meet
I-
Horace in session 13. So if you do want to listen, I think
I-
it would be then.
That's just what I mean. Is I just want to remember what the conversation was, so that I have a starting point for the rest of that conversation. If there was no discussion about payment whatsoever, that will inform my decision
Right.
for what happens next. But I honestly, it's because
Yeah,
what the episode 13 was like, I don't know,
Long time
a
ago.
long
feels
time
like
ago.
6 months ago.
Right.
It wasn't, but it feels like it. So I'll have to re-review that. But Chaz was not part of that conversation, so you could theoretically barter for that, or we could just do all of this.
Yeah,
once
we'll do
I've-
it all.
Yeah, I'll do it all at once. Yeah.
I could even say that he gives you part of your payment now, once we've decided what it is.
We can spend it on down here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We don't need to know.
I mean, he just puts it on your holo card, as long as you remember to steal the person's holo card before you
Do we
murder
have
them.
Wi-Fi down here? I mean,
That's a good question. You guys have just been dragging Ethernet this whole time, right?
really aggressive hotspot. Don't get in the way; you'll get cancer.
You're getting it anyway. So I mean, all this shitty space technology. There's no way you guys aren't getting radiation
Oh, yeah.
randomly through the walls. But yeah. So he does equip you with some kind of kerosene lanterns for those of you who don't have light. I think one of you has a headlamp. and
Yeah, I'm
Matt,
actually
Mine was
turning
died.
my headlamp off though, and I'm using the. I'm gonna take a lantern.
Save the battery.
Okay. So all three of you have kerosene lanterns. They are full.
Okay.
I don't know if you can. I'll just say they have like 6 uses, and every session is a use.
Okay.
Because like if I say you guys go to sleep or whatever, then you would not leave it running, right? So it's not like that would drain in between sessions. So yeah.
Cool.
Heading off into the Underdark.
Okay. So you kind of continue through this hallway, this tunnel that you have found. Horace is coming with you, but you know, either due to age or interest in the architecture or what, he's kind of dawdling. So he's coming, but you're not necessarily waiting for him either as you kind of walk through this tunnel. You do see, kind of as you continue, you do see some carvings as well, kind of built into these walls in sections where there are not any of these copper veins. You know, they might move around a piece of rock that is pretty uniformly rock, and you see more of that runic language kind of carved into this wall. Horace kind of yells after you guys that He says, "We haven't fully figured out what this language is, but we have some ideas. We just need, like our very own Rosetta Stone or something." Uh,
What's Rosetta Stone?
Horace, there's stones everywhere. Just pick one.
he laughs. He kind of assumes you're joking.
I was not. What is so funny?
He's like, "No, I mean, like a guidebook on translation. It's a reference to this place called Egypt back in the day."
Then why didn't you
Uh,
just say that in the first place instead of talking about stones?
he says, I'm just gonna look at these walls over here. You guys can, well, you keep going."
So the interns continuing. We're behind the interns, and Horace is Dillian.
And now interns have kind of like been meandering around the entrance, kind of going over it with a fine
They're a
tooth
bunch of
comb.
pansies, of course.
Yeah, oh yeah, because if they're fucking spiders at the end of this thing, let the exterminators take care of it. So they're kind of at the entrance. Horace is somewhere in between you guys and the interns. But you kind of continue, through, and you find that there's a kind of a T. You can go left or right.
So it's gonna be black or green.
What's that?
It's gonna be black or green. T. Left or right? What do you think, Chaz?
I say we go left, and I point down the right tunnel.
Love it.
Hayes looks at Chaz and then looks at Tick and holds the masked gaze for several long moments and then just kind of lowers his head and follows behind Chaz.
Okay, we're thinking. I'm heading down the right tunnel then,
Perfect.
but
Okay.
I think it's left, but it's actually the right.
Okay. So you continue for quite a ways. This tunnel is pretty long. A couple of interesting things kind of dawn on you as you're walking through, and by you I mean people who are not Chaz. So that verdigris that you saw previously around the entrance doesn't seem to have continued into these tunnels. In fact, they seem watertight because there's no puddles, there's no drips, there's no leaks. It seems to be just cut perfectly in complete stone. So just dawns on you that, because you've been walking through damp cave for days now.
So these tunnels are basically perfection.
Pretty much.
Are
The
they
other thing that
smooth?
they are
Generally?
smooth. They're perfectly smooth. Even the spots that have the ore vein in it, other than the texture itself, of metal is different than stone. They're perfectly smooth. You couldn't find a seam if you were
Just like flush.
trying.
Wow.
Tick, what are the odds of someone making this by hand?
Just seems like someone's like boring through it or something perfectly, right? I don't know.
That's what I was
I don't
thinking.
think someone's made. Yeah, someone's made it.
Something
They
has
just
made
cut
it.
something is cut through it perfectly or something.
Yeah, I agree.
Can
Interesting.
all of you roll savvy checks for me?
Damn.
-3.
That was a nat 20, apparently.
Oh, your savvy's -5.
Sure is. So I rolled a -3.
You
He's just oblivious.
not only did you not perceive the thing I was going to talk about, you forgot where you were for a moment.
Sounds
Like
about right.
one of those you got hit with a mace at one point, and every once in a while you just kind of okay. It's like a weird ass.
You gotta like hit your head. You're like, all right, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Please remember that trait, Ryan, for Chaz.
Well,
You know, like with like an old TV with like rabbit ears on them, then sometimes
Yeah.
like a random channel would
Right.
start to yeah, it's like that. You just gotta fonz it, and it'll work. But
Kind of like our ship.
but those of you who had successful checks, 12 or over, there's
Tick had
another
a perfect.
And then
Yeah.
that 20.
He had a nat 20.
hell yeah. Okay, so we'll say that you notice it first. And you can inform the party if you so desire.
Hazel will figure it out too.
So the other thing that's kind of interesting is that when traveling through this cave, there's no wind, right? In this cave, you're so far underground that the air is kind of damp and heavy and just kind of
Stagnant.
musty, static air. But there is a breeze in this tunnel, but it seems to be inconsistent. Sometimes it's like blowing at you. Sometimes it's like towards the direction you're going. So it seems to be inconsistent. Maybe wind is catching something just right, but you're so far underground, you're not entirely sure where the wind could have been coming from.
Interesting. All right.
Would you even notice wind that much?
Uh,
rolled a nat
Haze? I
20,
guess unless like
yeah.
against this like cloak and stuff, I guess you probably like sense the movement. Just assume with like no skin exposure.
I just assume with his robes, like
Yeah,
anytime
yeah,
that you stood still to like feel the wall,
That makes
then
sense.
just the rustling of the robe kind of back and forth in this wind.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Keep on.
So you kind of continue on. At this point, you've completely lost Horus. He's just kind of dawdling, checking stuff, writing down the runes in his notebook that he kind of passes. But you kind of reach the end of this tunnel that you're walking down. There seems to be another staircase. This one seems to be a spiral. So just as immaculate, just as advanced looking as the previous one, but now it seems to be a complete spiral.
Going down or up?
Going down.
and it
Chaz,
still looks like
Huh?
pristinely cut. No.
Hmm.
Well, Hazel, stop at the staircase and look into it and look at Tick. Looks at Chaz for a second and then back to Tick, and it's this doesn't look man-made either. What could have done this?
The fuck are we
Chaz-
getting into?
Chaz is gonna peer over the side and look straight down and just go, "Hello."
Is there a center?
So
Do we hear-
there's walls. There's walls.
Oh,
I was gonna
really?
say it's a spiral
Okay, never mind.
staircase.
All
How
right.
do you?
Well, then he's gonna yell just down the stairs, "Hello."
It takes a minute, but you do hear hello back
Guys,
to you.
there's somebody down there.
Uh,
Hazel and I look at each other like,
yeah. Would you mind asking us before you speak in the tunnel again?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess I can do that.
Or if you're gonna speak loudly, just in case we need to surprise someone
Oh,
and give them a
you
good
mean that?
scare.
But they said hello back. They got to be friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in case we run into another group.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
They kind of sounded like me, didn't they?
Yeah, I hope there isn't another of you down there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
One of you is good enough.
Nobody's going to explain what an echo is to Jazz. You're just going to let it
I
slide.
just wanted to almost say, like, do you know what an echo is?
At this point of his age, if he doesn't,
Yeah.
and living on this planet, if he doesn't
It's
know
gonna
what
be
an echo is,
and
we're
been down in a
just-
cave for, I'm assuming, a little bit of time. Like,
that
Um,
just means no one else took the time to explain it either. Poor Chaz.
right? Oh, we should.
uh,
We're gonna
We
keep
can
going.
explain it on the way down.
Yeah.
It's
Chaz,
like
do you want to go first and see what your new friend is doing
Hell
down there?
yeah. Hell yeah. I want to go first. Let's go.
okay. So you start heading down this spiral staircase. It starts out pretty wide, and then it starts to get kind of more and more and more and more narrow the farther you get down. And then at some point, the walls kind of stop, and you realize that this staircase is kind of hovering midair into this giant chasm of a room. So you kind of look around, you shine your light kind of through this chasm, and it's so deep and so dark that the lantern is essentially doing nothing. But
Sorry, at the
you're
bottom of the spiral staircase, we just go into a large chasm.
the staircase now has no walls, and you're continuing down the staircase like hovering midair, essentially. You're not entirely sure how the stairs even are like work, because nothing is supporting it as far as you can tell. So you kind of look to, like the left and right, and the only thing that you can tell is that there seems to be other kind of staircases in the distance. But that's about it. That kind of breeze that you felt previously, that kind of pulsating back and forth, is definitely getting stronger the farther you kind of continue in this direction.
The temperature changed at all? Just out of curiosity.
It did get a little warmer, not like hot, but
But I mean,
you know,
at least enough that we kind of noticed it, or
yeah.
not enough because we've been working and fucking walking and, like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure we're just overheated to begin with.
Yeah. It it does seem to be warmer just in general, but you don't know if you can attribute that to it actually getting warmer, or just like, adrenaline. You're hovering above a giant void right now, walking down staircase with no railings. Maybe just adrenaline. Who knows?
The inside wall is still there, right?
No, that's gone as well.
So we're literally just walking
Just
down.
floating steps.
There's floating steps.
What the fuck? Oh, I
You
thought there
missed
was
that
at
the
least a
first time?
post or something
Oh.
in the
Nope.
center. There's
No,
just floating steps.
That's why I say I said you don't entirely know how they're keeping themselves up, is because they're supported by nothing. It's
How
just
wide are the
steps.
stairs?
What?
So at the point that the wall has kind of disappeared, they're about 3 feet wide. But the stairway continues to get more and more narrow as you
God.
continue down. So right now it's about 3 feet. But you assume that pattern continues.
I'm going to turn back to the other guys and I'm going to whisper so I don't get in trouble again. And I'm going to go,
Love
guys, this is awesome. How are we doing this? And then I'm going to start jumping up and down on the step.
Did anything happen? Like, I'm kind of like bracing.
Roll me a body check.
Ooh. Him?
Yeah. Yep. The person jumping on the floating staircase.
22.
22. Okay, you like have at it. You like your intention is essentially
break it.
to kill us all. And you're just like hammering at this thing, jumping up and down, trying to get it to like come loose. And you put some effort in that, right?
Yeah.
And it does not budge even a millimeter.
Interesting.
It is
Wow.
completely solid. But yeah.
All right. Let's.
I think I just peed
Hey,
myself a
Chaz.
little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Chaz.
Yeah. Yes, little friend.
What would you have done if the stairs broke?
I guess I didn't think that far.
Okay, cool. I just pat him on the back.
Should we keep moving?
We still have the kerosene lanterns with
Yep.
us. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull out one of my stick of incense that I have and just like burn it, and then drop it to see if I can maybe see the burning ember hit a floor. Maybe.
Are you throwing it
hopefully.
into the middle of the staircase or the outside?
Like, yeah, kind of like just right to the side of the stairs.
Okay.
The inside of the stairs, though, or the outside of the stairs?
I guess that's a good point. I'm gonna do the inside because there's no post,
Okay.
so I'll do like hopefully try and do the ring
Okay.
in between the stairs.
So it kind of falls and falls, and by the time that your light is not on it, it because incense don't really light exactly.
It's a
You see
little
kind of
ember, yeah.
you see the little cherry, like for a while, but it's gone to the light. So there's a good distance. You don't entirely know if it there is some wind here and the incense isn't ridiculously heavy. So like it could have just blown into the stairs somewhere for all you know. But
That's what I was
you
afraid of.
didn't see it land.
I look down there and I hold the lantern over and I look at Tick like, should I?
We've got extras.
But I don't want it to catch on anything and break. So
Can Chaz give me your lantern?
All right. And I just hand it over.
Yeah. Can we maybe like blow it out and take some of the kerosene essentially and maybe drop it straight down and then light it? You know what I'm trying to my plan here maybe
Chaz has no fucking idea, so I hope you're talking to Hayes.
to Hayes.
I'm assuming you're talking to Huff because that's more of.
I don't understand how you would drop kerosene in that it's a liquid.
He's saying
Or
since
maybe we
it's a full
soak a cloth
lantern,
or
is there a way
something,
to
take
get?
some of his oil out essentially.
Yeah, so you could
And
pour
use
the
that.
you could pour
I don't
the
want to use the
kerosene
whole
out all you
thing.
want.
Maybe
Yeah,
use like a session's worth out of his or something.
one use.
Yeah.
But you could absolutely pour out some, if you and light whatever you so desire.
Does that
You
sound
just
bad
like
I
light the
don't.
idea?
you just light the rifle on fire and throw it down
Yeah,
the hole.
no, not the rifle.
Too bad I don't have Jinx with us.
I still
that
had
would
a
be super
bolt
handy.
of cloth from earlier. Can I take some of like just rip some of the end off of that and fucking douse it and then light it and throw it down?
I'm gonna say, because tearing cloth is surprisingly difficult, that you use the oscillating knife.
Oh yeah, or that. Make it even
And
easier.
yes, you can cut some cloth out of that.
But
Now
then
you have
I'm just worried that maybe we're gonna run into the same thing because it's kind of like a light, floaty sort of thing. Could we wrap it around something heavy? One of my USB drives from the Psy things, the
Oh my
drug
God.
thing.
That you have like 600 of.
I have thousands of them. I'm gonna use that and tie it around. That'll give it some
you
weight
just,
to like
you
fall
just
down.
tie it around a handful of those. Make a little softball out of it.
A lit heavy object is what I want to throw down there. That you might be able to see it.
I would say you'd have to spend 10 flash drives
Totally fine.
Okay. So you tie a little bit of this cloth, kind of almost like a hobo rucksack, kind of situation, and then you douse it in just a little bit of that kerosene
Perfect.
from Chaz's lantern.
I give it back to
Um,
Chaz when I'm done.
Why you
Thank
use Chaz
you.
lanterns instead of your own, that's not for me to decide, but Chaz, you have one less lantern to use.
Cool.
Thank you, friend.
Huff,
You're
side
welcome,
note,
Dolphin.
do you know what the stairs are that we're standing on? You have to tell me right now, but I just realized I have part of my starting personal belongings is a handheld material analyzer.
Oh, that'd be helpful. Let's do
Yeah.
Yeah.
it.
So I don't
Let me-
want to put you on the spot here, but we can come back to that.
He's like copper and limestone.
Which is fine.
handheld. The interesting thing is that is the only reference to that in the entire book.
I know. I can't.
So,
before I asked you, I was looking up to see what exactly that means, but I guess it can mean
I'm
whatever you want it to mean.
hold on.
Though maybe it wouldn't be able to tell you what the materials are analyzing if it's never had that material in the database or any of the um, elements. Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying. Elements.
Marissa for the save.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm gonna say that if it's in its database, it will tell you exactly what it is. If it's not in the database, it will give you kind of like a best assumption based off of the elements.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna do it right now while we're on these stairs.
Okay. Because I do have the elements that it's made out of. If you want to do it,
I just don't trust myself on these stairs.
probably a good call. Probably a good call. Okay. Are y'all continuing down it, or
Nope.
we're gonna throw the flash drive fireball?
Yeah, we're gonna throw the fireball.
Once Tick gets back,
Yeah.
he checked out.
So how about the Mets?
Here he is.
Welcome back.
You gotta throw your flash bomb.
Do you want to throw your fireball?
Yeah.
Okay. So you light this this satchel of flash drives that you have combined, and you kind of throw it lit down this hole, trying as best as you can to aim in the middle of it. I'm assuming.
Yes. If you want me
Um,
to roll a dex thing, I will, because
I would love for you to roll a dex.
Roll a dex.
you know what? Hell, I'll even throw a fucking void point on top of it just to be sure that we get a really fucking good one. Good, because the
That's
first one sucked. Second one was a little bit better, but still kind of sucked. It was 10.
10. Okay, so you kind of throw it, and you are aimed dead set in the middle. The problem is just the sheer distance here, and you're throwing it like at an arc. Yeah, you were aimed for the middle, but only like 100 feet down, and it just keeps going until it smacks into the wall of parts of the stairs, rips open, and just kind of dumps flash drives all over the place.
flaming flash drives.
It's just raining, flaming flash drives. Melted plastic.
We
Some
see it ever hit
some
anything?
of
Yeah.
the you kind of lose sight of the flash drives, but part of the cloth does kind of continue down this well essentially, and it kind of continues for you would guess maybe about 300 more feet before it hits kind of either a floor or a ledge or something. But if you've ever tried to see a fire from 300 or 400 feet, you can't really make out what's around it. But it's definitely down there.
And it's
So
still lit.
Still lit.
I'm gonna look back
Currently.
at Tick, and I'm gonna say that guy who said hello to us earlier is gonna be really upset that you just did that. You could
We're
hit him.
just giving him some light so he can see us coming.
All right, well, let's get down there. Let's
Yeah,
hurry.
yeah, let's go. Just be careful. The stairs are getting narrower.
I got this.
Crazy big giant.
Uh,
Imagine him like tiptoeing like down these little things, but as this big giant dude.
He don't
You're-
tiptoe.
he only one word can describe him: clomping.
Yeah.
So you're kind of continue down these stairs, and 5, 10, 50, 100 feet of this, the stairs continue to get more and more and more narrow. You've reached a point where they're about less than a foot wide. It's getting real sketchy. Go ahead and roll me some dexes, please.
Can we? How tall is the ceiling?
You
Or
cannot
like
see
the
the ceiling.
stairs above the stairs above us?
Oh, so above you, it's probably like
So
you could touch the bottom of the stairs above you.
you go.
Okay. Because at this point, I think I would be walking with my lantern and, just there in case I need to brace
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Damn. Not bad, Chaz.
I rolled a nat 20.
Hell yeah. So instead of holding on to the roof, you've just have your head smashed into it to give yourself support.
I got an 18.
15.
15. Okay, you all succeed. So you kind of continue. You're getting ever closer and closer to the smoldering embers of the flash drive bomb. But just when, Chaz, you feel as if there is zero way that you're going to be able to walk on this, because it gets to a point where you're doing 1 foot per step, like, because they're like, 5 inches wide. Then you reach a landing. This landing seems to be more of the same stone, but this stone seems to be slightly different than before, in that it's textured. There's what seems to be embedded gems throughout it. That kind of just like little cylinders and squares of random rocks and gems and shit. It also seems to be you at first think that it's verdigris, that it's turned green, but you realize that the rock itself is green, as opposed to the kind of ore veins, which seems to still be perfectly fine copper, brass,
And
bronze.
Chassis
this is at the landing, so the ground.
This is the layout. Yeah, yep.
Colors and shapes.
Are we close?
City and color. I don't know
Are
if you
we
guys
close to
know
a
that.
wrap up, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like, it's just a landing, like.
I mean, so you guys look around? Is that what that's?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna look
Yeah.
around. Well, actually, I'm probably the wrong person to do that, but
Well, we're all looking around. Specifically, if this carries on, like behind us, where we just came down the stairs, or if that drops off.
Yeah, so as you look around, at first you're looking kind of into the room, and it is dark. It's far enough distance that you can't really see. I mean, there's obviously like a pathway in that direction, but you
I'm
can't
gonna
really
flip
see.
my headlamp on to give me
Okay.
a little more direction.
Okay. So when you do that, you see kind of in the darkness what look to be just maybe like a rock or something in the distance. Seems to be like a pedestal with a bowl sitting on top of it, kind of into this room. You look behind you,
Oh, we're in a
and
room,
well, in the big cave room thing you've walked into.
but it's like so big that there's other stairs.
Other stairs you can see in the distance, and you look kind of behind the stairwell that you just walked down, and it's like a sheer drop off. You can see more of the same stone kind of barreling downwards, but there's no handholds, there's no landing. You have no idea how deep it goes. So yeah,
And
that pedestal is the only thing you really see.
can we tell from here if the pedestal bowl is like placed there or carved into, or are we too far away?
You'd have to approach it.
Well, do we want to call this a good spot?
Do you guys have any last things you want to
don't.
do?
Uh,
Okay, we'll call it there. Mysterious bowl.
Tick, did you have something?
No.
So we'll go ahead and end it there. Thank you for anyone who was able to join us live. I admittedly had notes pulled up, so I didn't read it, but hopefully one of you did. But thanks for anyone who ends up watching this on YouTube or catches the podcast version of it. Hopefully we have all of the recording this time. Apologies for that again. But everyone have a great rest of your Monday.
just a reminder, we are off next week for Christmas. We'll be back the week after.
The week after's New Year's. Are we
New
doing
Year's,
that or
are
not?
we?
New Year's Day, though, I guess it's up to you guys. It's not like it's Eve.
True.
You guys call. It's up to you guys. So
We'll talk
for
about
sure,
it closer to.
we're
but
for sure off next week. So
yes.
Yep. Or 50-50 for the rest of it. But
yeah.
All right.
All right. Bye, Twitch.
bye.